Hello and welcome to another modeling video. This is Alan from the McConaughey at YouTube with another model video. Today we'll be slicing, 3D printing, building and painting a nostalgic throwback Pokemon diorama of the Cerulean Gym leader Kasumi, or Misty in the English version. Character many grew up with in the 90s, where the human characters are not as well portrayed in merchandise and figures as the Pokemon themselves. Download links and credits to the sculptor 3D modeler in the description section below. Very quickly, I do slice and process my own models. Through experience, I orientate the model to face up, supports where it's covered or not well seen, hollow to 2 mm, a very large hole for drainage, and excessively supported with as thin supports as possible. Sliced for long exposure on the first few levels and around a few seconds thereafter with a very long retraction period, but shallow movements. This assists in cleanup of facing detail at the expense of flush fitting connecting points. I am using the Anycubic Mono X 6K 3D printer in a pseudo outdoor well ventilated area with Sunlu resin and a third party beer heating band toasting it all at 38 degrees. Too long, didn't read. Free STL file, large, cheap, older 3D printer, cheapest but best quality resin. With good temperature management and no external factors, it was a successful print. It was 2 rounds, the base body on separate bed and sessions. The parts were washed in denatured or methylated spirits, rinsed off, then allowed to naturally cure outside under UV light of the sun, flipping it to get both sides. This can take a day or few. The part I hate the most, cleaning up and test fitting. Process is a bit more streamlined now. I chop all the pieces up in individual components, boil some water and soak the support line to the model until it softens and peels off with great ease. There is still nubs left over that needs to be trimmed, sanded back and even a Dremel used. Without tools, you risk hurting your hands and accessing fresh resin that hasn't cured. If you are using power tools, make sure to do it outside and wear respirator. Resin is toxic and a carcinogen in vapors, liquid and dust when breathed in. Gloves for when it's still wet as a safety PSA. Sometimes I find these designs and figures to have far too tight of tolerance, and the keyhole and nubs do need to be shrunk down or removed and retooled for a more flush fit. In this case, I am using construction adhesive and would rather have it all in one piece and do masking and hand painting, as the assembly is a bit unorthodox for a garage kit, with the pose being very dynamic. We'll cover this more in the painting section. What is separated or a very small point of contact, such as the neck and arms, will still have a traditional pin to hold it together and bear weight. This kit is fairly beginner friendly as it contains large connecting surface points, already has a base, and not standing or mounted via very thin feet and ankles. She is also balanced by one of her suspender straps that are laying down conveniently on the floor, which is genius. For more humanoid detailed face and fine strand hair, this is quite a lovely and mature sculpt with the pose. Test fitting and gluing did expose some gaps that required some filling and putty work. After that dried, it was sanded back and a test base coat as a primer. To find imperfections, putty, sand and base coat again. Painting is going to be done in stages, mostly focusing on the flesh first. I'll be using two cheap airbrushes, a 0.5 trigger type and a 0.3 gravity feed double action type, through a budget Haoxing air compressor found at most standard hobby shops and imported from China. The color I'm using is a Cellulose Automotive lacquer paint that's color matched from Hobby Lacquer Paints, thinned to a very watery viscosity that's tested by swirling in a shot glass to see if it sticks transparently, and painted in 3 tones of color mimicking shadowing and gradients of natural light sources. Because the figure is mostly one bulk, I hand painted the base coat of the top, the jeans and the hair, making up the face and eyes as well. After that dried, I masked components and shaded another 1 or 2 tones in each area to give it a airbrushed look. If there's any streaks, the thinner does reactivate it and makes everything settle nice and flat. Little time consuming, but I don't have any post-assembly gaps or issues. Thinned down lacquer paint is very easy to hand paint. It can reactivate the color underneath and again re-flattened by just spraying thinner. It is quick drying but can be a bit slow to chemically harden, so I do allow a full 24 hours or longer before I mask those areas. In adhesion, good primer and prior sanding does assure a knife bite so the paint does not lift from the masking. Details like the suspenders were hand painted. I've really been into modeling and painting water, thus the past 2 tutorials on the shorts. Detail wise, this base doesn't have a lot going for it, but a lot of ripples and the areas the models do mount on. I wasn't sure at first, but was very playful, starting by painting the rim and highlighting the ripples and areas, then building up a blue foundation of pattern and wires and overlapping it with different shades of reflecting water patterns across the base. This was a mix of several colours. It doesn't particularly have to be neat, though you do need to play on the physical details of the ripples, and some general light on shading. Everything was sealed with multiple clear coats for maximum gloss appeal. Finishing off is the Goldeen Pokemon peeking out of the water, which I've been dreading and avoiding for a fair amount of time. No clear game plan how I was going to do it. Once I got over the self-confidence thing, I started by pre-shading and lining a orange-red around the detail and settled in the wavy pattern around its body with a fine 0.2mm airbrush. With a light pink and a peach color, I mottled texture between the white and the red-orange part to match line art and art off Google as close as possible. Was very playful and in the zone at the time. Don't ask me how to repeat it again. If I didn't have this footage, I'd be completely lost. Very pleased how it came out. Also hand-painted details such as the lips and eyes. I need to do more schemes like this as practice or training. Gluing the 4 components onto the base, we are finished, concluding the crafting process of the video. The sculpt is very well blocked out and does show life and movement, capturing a moment in time with the ripples, the position of the Pokemon and Misty interacting, then looking out to the viewer or the void. There are elements of it that's not conventional, such as the base, the many strands and detail in the hair, and the almost dull humanoid-like face. The texture folds in the clothes, the proportions of the body has enough meat to bite your teeth into in painting and detailing if it's airbrushing or hand painting, and can translate very well in various scales, plus the decent one that it comes out in its raw file state. I am very content with my effort. Been building a lot of vintage Gundam kits in a couple of tanks that lean more on masking and less on assembling after painting, which I'm feeling more confident in, and definitely enjoyed the speediness and neatness of hand painting a base coat, then touching up with an airbrush. Quick, lower effort, great results. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Description section will have references and download links. We will catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Catch you later.